Our Julianna Goldman is standing by now with key Obama aide Gene Sperling. He's director of the National Economic Council. Julianna, good to see you again today.
Good to see you, Lisa. Thanks so much, Gene. Let's get right to it. Give us the latest state of play right now. Democrats on the Hill are saying the time is ticking and that John Boehner should pull the plug at this point. Is that the message from the White House?
I think there's no question that we are seeing stalemate on the Hill. Obviously, we far support Senator Reid's bill, not only because it has a strong down payment on deficit reduction, but it does what the president's asked for, which is take the cloud of uncertainty of default off our economy for the foreseeable future, well into 2013. But that said, there's no question that we are facing a stalemate, that at this moment, unless we have more compromise, we do not have any bill that has a great prospect of reaching the president's desk. And so the president's message is very much the same. We need a compromise. We need people willing to work together.
So are you saying the speaker's just wasting time at this point?
I'm saying I think with the clock ticking, we should all realize that we are at a period of stalemate and that we have to start asking everyone, both parties, to start looking for a piece of legislation that can make it to the president's desk and that he can sign. And there are several ways to do that, with a down payment on deficit reduction, with the ability to come back for strong entitlement and tax reform later to get more deficit reduction, and to remove the prospect of default for the foreseeable future.
But
there are many ways to get there.
But you didn't just say that it has to extend the debt ceiling through the next election.
Well, I think there's no question it should extend the debt limit
Does it have to?
through 2013. Absolutely. Look, we have gone a long ways in our country. We have had many bipartisan deficit reduction bills. We have had lots of progress. In all of those cases, no one ever needed to use the threat of default to get their way. Okay. Right now, this notion of anyone using the threat of our country's first default to get their way on the budget now, or kicking the can down the road so they can do that 6 or 7 months later, is not the way we should govern as a people, and it puts a terrible cloud of economic uncertainty over our economy at just the wrong time.
Well, how real is the threat of a credit ratings downgrade right now?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. If you look at what S&P has said, they said that the idea of having multiple votes on raising the debt ceiling was a clear negative in their judgment. So why should we take risk? There's no question that if we do something like Senator Reid proposed, even as Senator McConnell had proposed, any option that extends the debt limit into 2013 takes the prospect of default off the radar screen, off our economy for the next 2 years.
Could we see downgrade? Could we see downgrade before default?
You know, you're going to have to ask the rating agencies. All I know is that we as a country, those of us involved in policy, should be doing everything possible to avoid that. And the three things that I know would help is a serious down payment on deficit reduction, the promise to come back and do more in the future, and an extension of the debt limit into 2013 so that the dark cloud of default is taken off our economy.
How real of a deadline is August 2nd? August 3rd, is that the day the government says has to decide between paying Social Security or creditors?
Look, this is very clear. At the end of August 2nd, we lose our borrowing authority. And yes, there are checks that need to go out to people that matter on August 3rd. August 4th, $87 billion of T-bills reached maturity. We shouldn't even be having this discussion. We have a 220-year legacy of a credit that is beyond reproach. The idea that we're even discussing what we might do on the cusp of default is a conversation we shouldn't be having. We have plenty, time is running out, but we still have time to resolve this as we should through bipartisan compromise.
Gene Sperling, thank you so much for the time. So, Lisa, there you hear it, August 2nd, a firm deadline the White House is saying today.
All right, Director Sperling, thank you. White House correspondent Julianna Goldman, fascinating interview right there.